had always been afraid of clowns. Their painted smiles and exaggerated expressions sent shivers down her spine. So when her friend Sarah gifted her an antique clown doll for her birthday, Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. She politely thanked Sarah, hiding her true feelings, and placed the doll on a shelf in her bedroom. That night, Amelia tossed and turned in her bed. As the moonlight streamed through her window, casting eerie shadows across the room, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Her gaze fell upon the clown doll perched on the shelf, its painted face seemingly alive in the dim light. Trying to dismiss her uneasiness, Amelia closed her eyes and attempted to drift off to sleep. But her rest was short-lived. In the darkness, she heard a faint laughter, a chilling, high-pitched giggle that made her heart race. She snapped her eyes open, searching for the source of the sound. There, on the shelf, the clown doll's mouth was moving. It was laughing. Fear coursed through Amelia's veins as she watched the doll's arms twitch and its head turn slightly. She couldn't believe her eyes. It was just a doll, it couldn't possibly be moving on its own. But as she continued to watch, the doll's laughter grew louder, more menacing. Terrified, Amelia reached for the lamp on her bedside table and turned it on, illuminating the room. The doll froze, its painted smile frozen in a wicked grin. Doubt crept into Amelia's mind. Had she imagined it all? She hesitantly reached for the doll, her hand trembling, and examined it closely. It appeared harmless, a simple toy, a mere product of her imagination. Deciding it was all in her head, Amelia turned off the lamp and lay back down, hoping to find solace in sleep. But as soon as darkness enveloped the room once more, the doll sprang to life. Its laughter and footsteps echoed through the room, growing louder and more malicious with each passing second. Amelia's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the truth. The clown doll was alive, and it meant to harm her. She scrambled out of bed, desperately searching for a way to stop the terror that had invaded her life. But no matter what she did, the doll seemed to anticipate her every move, staying just out of reach. Hours turned into days, and Amelia's life became a waking nightmare. The doll tormented her day and night, its laughter filling her ears even when she covered them, desperately trying to drown it out. Sleep eluded her, and her once vibrant spirit withered away under the relentless torment. Unable to bear the agony any longer, Amelia made a fateful decision. She resolved to rid herself of the evil doll once and for all. With trembling hands, she gathered all her courage and approached the shelf where the doll sat, its wicked grin taunting her. Amelia grabbed the doll and held it tightly in her hands, determined to destroy it. But as she raised it high above her head, ready to smash it against the hard floor, the doll's laughter ceased. Its expression shifted from malice to sadness, as if pleading for mercy. In that moment, Amelia hesitated. A wave of empathy washed over her, her fear momentarily overridden by compassion. She couldn't bring herself to harm the doll. With a heavy heart, she gently set it back on the shelf. But the relief was short-lived. As Amelia turned to leave the room, the doll's laughter resumed, louder and more maniacal than ever. In a final act of desperation, Amelia covered her ears and sprinted out of the room, but the laughter followed her, haunting her every step. Overwhelmed by fear and despair, Amelia retreated to her room, barricading herself inside, hoping to find respite from the relentless torment. Days turned into weeks, and the laughter never ceased. Isolated and broken, Amelia's mind gradually deteriorated under the constant assault. One night, driven to the edge of madness, Amelia succumbed to the darkness that invaded her soul. In the cold, lonely room, the laughter of the clown doll became the soundtrack that plays in her head every moment of every day. The news of Amelia being committed to the state mental hospital spread quickly, leaving friends and family shocked and grieving. No one could explain the true cause of her despair or the torment she had endured. The clown doll, once an innocent gift, became a symbol of her tragic fate, a reminder that sometimes the terrors of our imagination can manifest in the cruelest of ways. And so, the clown doll sits on a shelf inside her mind, its painted smile forever burned into her memory, a chilling testament to Amelia's new reality. In a small town nestled between the rolling hills, the locals often frequented the local Dollar General for their daily needs. It was a place where neighbors exchanged pleasantries and laughter echoed through the narrow aisles. But on one fateful evening, something sinister would cast a dark shadow over this familiar setting. It was an unusually quiet evening as Laura stepped into the Dollar General. She couldn't help but notice how the atmosphere seemed tense, as if the air itself held its breath. Shaking off the feeling, she went about her shopping, picking up a few essentials from the shelves. As Laura made her way down an empty aisle, her heart skipped a beat. There, standing at the end, was a figure unlike anything she had ever seen. The being was tall, towering over the shelves, its presence both commanding and unsettling. Laura's eyes were locked on the very strange-looking being, androgynous with long flowing blonde hair cascading down its shoulders. Its skin was unnaturally pale, giving it an ethereal glow in the dimly lit store. Laura's initial shock turned into an overwhelming sense of unease as she realized that the being was watching her with piercing, black vacant eyes. Its expressionless face sent chills down her spine, and she couldn't tear her gaze away. She felt as if it knew her deepest secrets, her innermost fears. Attempting to break free from its unsettling stare, Laura quickened her pace, her footsteps echoing through the empty store. She darted into another aisle, hoping to put some distance between herself and the enigmatic figure. But no matter where she went, it followed, silently gliding through the store, its presence looming over her like a dark cloud. With her heart pounding in her chest, Laura desperately sought an escape. The faster Laura ran, the faster the being followed after her. She dashed toward the exit, but as she reached the door, she hesitated. She glanced back, unable to resist one last look at the pale, androgynous being. And in that moment, its lips curled into a chilling smile, devoid of any warmth or humanity. Frozen in terror, Laura realized there was no escape from this surreal nightmare. She stumbled backward, tripping over her own feet, and crashed to the ground. Her vision blurred as she struggled to regain her composure, but when her sight cleared, the being was gone. It had vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared, leaving behind only an eerie emptiness in the store. Dazed and shaken, Laura rose to her feet, her mind reeling with unanswered questions. What was that being? Why had it singled her out? But no matter how hard she searched for answers, she found none. The encounter remained a mystery, a haunting memory that would forever lurk in the depths of her mind. From that day forward, Laura became a mere shell of her former self. The encounter at Dollar General had shattered her sense of safety, leaving her trapped in a perpetual state of fear and paranoia. She withdrew from society, retreating into the confines of her own mind, forever haunted by the encounter with the tall, pale being. The secrets of the Dollar General and the enigmatic being that lurked within its walls remain locked away, leaving Laura and the town forever trapped in a nightmare of uncertainty.